Good morning, good morning, good morning from rural Southeast Ohio, USA. Hey, I'm Melissa here at Twin Oaks Family Farm. Thanks for joining us on our YouTube channel, Twin Oaks Farm Poultry. And it's March 16th, 2024. We're going to do another Show, Tell, and Share Saturday. So thanks for joining us. I've got some curious little chickens heading over. So we're going to take a look at some egg production chicks that are about 3 weeks old and will eventually be excellent food production specialists in our egg production flock. We also have the little group of Cornish rock cross meat chickens. Looking forward to showing y'all them. Very excited to tell you that we started with 126 chicks. They're 6 days old and we still have 126 chicks thriving. And also going to take a look at flowers, Mexican Coca-Cola, and our favorite laundry solution. So Show, Tell, and Share Saturday. Thanks for joining us. While you're here, share something good that's going on in your life. Also, we have a strong belief in faith and the power of prayer. So feel free, if you got any prayer requests, feel free to put those in comments too, and we'll add you to our prayer intentions for sure. But we appreciate y'all being here. So let's start off with this little group of chicks. This is a group of Cornish rock cross meat chickens. I'll try to back up and give y'all kind of an overview of the entire pen. So maybe looking at a space here overall that they have access to that is 20 foot by 15 foot approximately, where you see just kind of this open area, and then you see this more or less brooder setup that includes the heat lamps and the feeder trays and the water reservoirs for them. So really, this is more room than chicks need. You can see they're very well spread out, but they're gonna, believe it or not, I hope y'all will kind of stick with us through this flock and be joining us for videos when this flock is 5 weeks old, 6 weeks old. They're gonna fill this space in. We expect them to be able to finish in this space and not outgrow it in 5 or 6 weeks. But we do expect at the time that we end up taking this group of birds to processing, this is a group of birds intended specifically for meat production, for processing into poultry. I know they're super cute right now, and that's hard to believe that we're gonna turn them into frozen chickens and table chickens, but these birds really are terrific at feed to meat conversion and growing rapidly and efficiently. They are specifically intended for meat production. So they're super, super cute the first week. The second week, they're still pretty cute. By like the third week, they start to looking pretty awkward. And by the fourth, fifth week, they're definitely fitting our typical image of that white feathered, short statured, stocky meat chicken. So they're gonna change a lot and grow a lot. But it is really super exciting, like I said, that 126 of them started 6 days ago and 126 are still with us, still thriving. If y'all hadn't heard the statistics before, at least here in our country, in America, in production flocks of Cornish rock cross meat chickens, it's not considered out of the ordinary to have a flock loss rate of 20%. When we first started raising these chickens and we were researching different questions about them, that was one of the questions that we looked up, what's the typical flock loss? And the number I kept coming up with was 20%. And so 20 out of every 100 birds, kind of plan on losing them. Sometimes that does happen, but we are trying to get really good at raising these birds so that it doesn't happen. And our most successful flock was late summer of 2023. We only had a 3% flock loss in that flock. So, we know that if we can get the process down well and make really good growing conditions to give them an excellent quality of life during production, we know that we can have very successful flocks. So we're really working toward, if we can perfect this process in flocks the size of about 250 birds at a time, we could actually probably run 2 flocks of 250 in this same building overlapping. So that's what we're working toward. If we can get good at making things right for 250 birds at a time, then we can do that as our, as our production process. So at any rate, we're off to a good start. We appreciate y'all joining us. So this is a fun part of the kind of show and tell that this YouTube platform enables us to get to do is to show you this process of raising meat chickens. So we had always raised egg chickens for household consumption eggs. And now we actually have a small flock of egg production chickens that we sell the eggs from too. So we are every year also planning for replacement hens in our egg production flocks. And so that's what some of these birds are. We have 34 egg production birds that are actively in production right now. We have 32 so those 34 would be like 2 years old, coming on 2 years old and older. And then we have 32 that are only like half a year old, that are just starting into laying eggs. So they're actually like the replacement hens for this year, and expansion hens for this year. And then this is just a group of 12 of different breeds, but they're all gonna be for egg production. So, maybe by the end of summer, they'll be laying eggs. So they'll definitely be part of egg production in 2025 for sure. We'll keep them over the winter after they start laying eggs and work them into that egg production flock. So they're really doing well. They're feathering in well, but look how nice they're feathering in, and look at their size. So they're almost 3 weeks old. Here's one approaching us. This one approaching us is a white leghorn. So those white leghorns start off really yellow looking as chicks, just like these, kind of like these Cornish rock cross chicks here, kind of the same color, but oh, they look red under there, don't they? But anyway, so our guys here are at the farm. I say our guys, so my husband, and I have 3 sons, age 16 to 20. So my husband and oldest son and youngest son are what we call the farm, and that's basically the family farm that he would have grown up with. And he and his dad, so my father-in-law, they run that, and it's a crop and cattle operation. So crops, they produce hay for livestock, they produce corn for livestock, and they produce soybeans for livestock. So crops and cattle on that farm. And they do raise pigs too. Not necessarily around the calendar, but raise pigs when the weather's warmer. Like right now we don't have any. We're kind of waiting on warmer weather, and they were revamping the pig pen for those pigs there at the farm. And we don't do videos at the farm because it kind of overlaps 2 households, and the YouTube channel is really focused on this operation at our household. And we have this operation because I was like, well, I want a little ag operation I can do here at our household. And we have a very small place, less than 5 acres, so little bit of acreage. But the chickens was really an unlikely thing. Whoop, sorry, lost the chickens. The chickens was really an unlikely thing for us to get into because go back 5 years, my household didn't even like eating chicken. We like eating pork and beef because that's what they raise. And actually my husband inquired, well, what if we raised the meat chickens? Then would we like the chicken then? And we were like, well, it's worth a try. So we started raising these Cornish rock cross meat chickens, and we liked the chicken. So we've been doing that ever since. So we're kind of, getting to where we have practiced the process a lot, and that's our advice if you want to raise meat chickens. Our kind of philosophical perspective on raising meat chickens would be research the process, practice the process, and then trust the process. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot of conventional wisdom out there. Some of it works great, some of it doesn't. A lot of what ends up working depends a whole lot on your resources and your circumstances. So, research the process, then get you some birds, put it into practice, practice the process, change what you want to, adjust what you want to, and then trust. Once you get figuring out what works for you in your circumstances and with your resources, then trust the process. So that's, that's what we're doing. So I just heard some diesel trucks come in, so some of my guys are back. So I had said my husband and oldest and youngest son, sorry, the barn door caught in the wind. So you see we got a few chicks up and moving from that. That's kind of we call that a scatter response or a startle response. And that's actually a good thing every now and then to see in our birds, because we want them to be responsive to their environment, and that's an indicator to us that they're healthy. But some of the guys did come in from the farm. So that's my husband, oldest son, and youngest son. And then our middle son is at a cattle show today called the Ohio Beef Expo. Some of y'all that have cattle maybe have heard of it. So anyway, so the meat chicks are doing good. We'll do more videos on them this week. The temperature is going to be fluctuating. They had really warm temperatures this past week through the daytime, which was great for helping them get a good start. But we really would prefer kind of steady temperatures the first 3 weeks, and they right now would prefer a temperature around 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So we aren't going to have that in the outdoor temperature. Most of our building's going to match the outdoor temperature, but under those heat lamps, it's like the beach. So kind of like the tropical beach. So they're going to go there to get warm, and that's why we're going to keep their food and their water there. You probably do notice there was a change on the feeder trays. We didn't have the lids on them this past week, but they figured out where the feed is. They're going to it. They're eating well. So we decided it's time to put the lids onto the feeder trays. So they'll be in those size feeder trays maybe another week, and then we'll probably change them out to a little bit different feeder style that's kind of a transition between these small feeder trays and our big feeder trays and dispensers. And then the water, those hold a gallon, 7 gallons. We're filling those. Now we're filling those daily. So they're drinking about 7 gallons of water a day, 126 chicks. And at some point we will swap those water dispensers out as well. And we'll talk this week about why we have scrap pieces of wood under the feeders and waters for these birds too. But here's what we like. See how they're standing up at the feeder? That's what we want. And we've got one over at the water, standing up at the water. That's what we want. We don't want them sitting down, eating and drinking if we can influence that. So we'll talk about that in the next week with meat birds. So they're doing great. So to kind of get toward trying to aim for around 15 or 16 minutes on this video to kind of get toward finishing up here. We're showing you the meat chicks, and we want to tell you, want to do a little bit of a tell. So showing you the meat chicks, showed you the egg chicks, and want to do a little bit of a tell you about something. So want to tell you about, and we did this last week on March 9th, told you about some channels we're watching. Want to tell you about a couple of channels that I've been watching this week. Hey, Farmer Always. Farmer Always is up in Alberta, Canada, and I only know of them through watching their YouTube channel this morning. Watched their YouTube channel, Farmer Always, and they went ice fishing. They showed us a video of when they went ice fishing back in February of 2024. And you know, where I live, like, that's not an activity that we can ever do in Southeast Ohio. We have a big river just between us and the next town. Our little acreage here backs up to a creek. The farm backs up to the other fork of the same creek, but it doesn't get cold enough long enough for us here in South Ohio to ever do anything like ice fishing right here. We could go somewhere else and do it, but that was so cool to see. And they also have cattle and crops, and this is up in Alberta, Canada. I believe they call their place a ranch, but really enjoying their videos, y'all. They've built up a beautiful operation, and they share it on their videos. And something really cool is their video quality is super, and they put a lot of thought into sharing their agricultural lifestyle with us through the videos. So please check out Farmer Always on YouTube. I'll try to put a link or at least a mention in description, in comments. I'm not always real super tech savvy, but I'm working at it. I get a little better the more things that I attempt. So Farmer Always, shout out to y'all, and love your videos, and viewers, I hope that you'll check them out. Also been watching Chimma's Chicken Coop in Germany, and that's really cool because he has a live stream set up on his chicken coop, and then he also does some videos and some shorts, and so you can go in the live stream where the chat is, and there's kind of like, usually there's like update in there kind of telling you what the weather is over there, and there might be some commentary maybe on the chickens. So it's neat. It's neat to see that. That's a feature that I kind of like about the YouTube platform. I'm a real homebody. Other than going travel with my family, I'm really happy at home. I wouldn't even go out and do the shopping if I could get away with it. But seeing these places and seeing people like really sharing a glimpse of what is their real life with us, I get to see what some other places are like. And so that's kind of neat. So anyway, so check out Farmer Always. Check out Chimma's Chicken Coop, and that's actually CHEMA''S, Chicken Coop. So I'll try to put a link or mention at least in description and comments on that as well. And so going to do a share here, show and tell and share, finish up. This is something I just want to say. We have all these pretty flowers starting to bloom, different plants popping up. And so these daffodils I actually got out of our yard, where we used to have a swing set for our boys when they were little, and I was kind of sentimental about it when they tore the swing set out and kind of made it into a little bulb garden with flowers and plants that have been passed down to us. So I want to tell you, did you know, just like looking at little animals and baby humans usually, that those images usually cause our brains to release serotonin, which makes us happy. It gives us a happy feeling. So flowers are also a visual perception that typically trigger happy feelings in people. And that's why, because it causes a release of serotonin from the brain. So I was going to tell you, if you got flowers blooming in your yard, go out and get them, bring them in. And also wanted to mention this. I'm just fascinated by this. Okay. So this is just a glass bottle of Coca-Cola. I've zoomed in too close and I can't get out. But why I'm fascinated about this is that we can go to one of our dollar stores here and a hardware store here and get these glass bottles of Coca-Cola that are the Made in Mexico Coca-Cola. And the reason I like the Made in Mexico Coca-Cola is because it isn't made with high fructose corn syrup. It's made with real cane sugar. So my really favorite bad habit is Dr. Pepper, but I grew up Gulf Coast, Texas, and I was a Coca-Cola gal back then. That's all that Aunt Tara Lane had in the icebox, was the Coca-Cola. And now, all the American sodas are marketed, the American versions of the sodas are marketed, have high fructose corn syrup in them. And we try to avoid, it's really hard to do in the American commercial food supply, but we try to avoid high fructose corn syrup and food dyes. Caramel is in the dark sodas, which still isn't good for us. But anyway, so I try not to have it through the week, but like on Saturday evening and Sunday, have a Coca-Cola, or I would prefer Dr. Pepper, but it's harder to get it with just cane sugar. So anyway, what about where y'all are? Do you pay attention to the food labels? Are there any ingredients you're trying to eliminate? And is it hard to get food products that fit what you're working toward? And then I do want to show you all this. And actually, I need to disclose this from the get-go. This is a Norwex product. Norwex is a Norwegian company. I am a Norwex sales consultant. So I do have a Norwex website page that people can shop at. And if they buy from it, I do get a sales representative commission off of that. But I did want to tell you about this anyway, because this is our favorite laundry solution. I don't know if anybody else ever has problems with like the typical commercial laundry solutions at grocery stores and at house goods stores, but I do. It can irritate the skin and stuff, and some of the fumes from the heavy fragrances I have problems with. So years ago, when our kids were all at the same time in football sports, we had a hard time getting the sweat odor out of the clothing. And that's when I went on like a mission to find a laundry solution that worked for us. And I ended up finding this Norwex liquid laundry detergent, and it's concentrated. So I use literally one squirt for a load of laundry in a front-loading washing machine. I put the squirt in the liquid laundry dispenser. Oh, look, y'all. Somebody's coming to help us finish up show and tell and share. 3 of them got up there, and we talked about this about a week ago. We don't want them coming over here with the meat chicks. So normally they don't, though. They like cameras. These chickens love, check this out. If y'all stayed till 20 minutes, 37 seconds, you're getting a treat right there. The chicken's checking out the flowers. Probably making the chicken happy too, huh? So anyway, wanted to tell you about the Norwex laundry solution because we do a lot of laundry. There's 5 of us. We got a mechanic, we got a farmer, we got a road maintenance worker, we got a mill worker, we got another farmer. So, you know, it's just... We bring home, I'm surprised there's dirt and dust outside, honestly, because I think we take it all in the house on our clothes and shoes. But we use this Norwex liquid laundry detergent, and honest to goodness, it says on the bottle 230 loads. I know it lasts us over 2 months. So anyway, just wanted to share that with y'all. I do have that webpage. I will put the website address for it in the description, so if y'all want to seek it out, you can. And that's a laundry solution if you're looking for something that isn't just loaded down with toxins and just a big bottle of water you're paying for with extra stuff in it at the market. So anyway, hey y'all, thanks for joining us. Yep, I did go over the 16 minutes, but wanted to tell you about the flowers for one thing. They trigger feelings of happiness. So if that's something simple that would help you, go out and get some flowers. I just went out and clipped those right out of that flower bed, and I'll take them inside, and the daffodils even have a nice little pleasant fragrance. So we'll check back in with y'all this week. We don't upload on Sunday. We hope that you're all doing well. We sure appreciate your time and effort supporting our channel, and we'll let this roll up to 23 minutes, just zooming in on the meat chicks. And feel free to put any questions or comments down there, and we hope that you'll subscribe. We're getting close to 700. 5 more subscribers, and we'll be at 700, and then we'll keep working toward 1,000. So thanks, y'all. God bless you.